Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Common Ground Show with my co-host,
Macville 417.
the one, Big Red Johnson. So, don't want to always talk about race. Race will always be there. We want to be a complete show. A show that informs everyone across every spectrum of life. So today, we're going to talk about freedom in the NBA. I'm sure most of you have heard about the Houston Rockets GM, Daryl Morey, giving his support to the protesters in Hong Kong, who have been protesting actually since June. So I am pro-protester. I'm not sure where Mac Hill is, what side he's in. I haven't heard any of his arguments. So we'll all find out together and see if we can reach the common ground. So these whole protests started, because of a law that was passed in Hong Kong. It was an extradition law. And basically the law came about because there was a 19-year-old man who murdered his pregnant girlfriend in Taiwan, and he fled back to Hong Kong. And for some reason, Hong Kong was not able to extradite him to Taiwan to be punished for his crime. So none of my sources said, but I'm assuming that he is living free in Hong Kong, pretty much escaping punishment from the law. But what the law stated was that people could be extradited from Hong Kong to Taiwan, mainland communist China, and I believe there was one other country involved. And the reason the people are protesting is because Hong Kong, with this law, it's giving Hong Kong access into the it's giving China access into the judicial system of Hong Kong, thereby making Hong Kong, giving China not just access, but possibly some form of political control, because that's China's main angle. They want to get political dissidents out of Hong Kong and other criminals that flee mainland China to Hong Kong, where they are safe. And the protesters are saying that this also has encroached on their freedom of speech and right to assemble. So that is why I'm for the protesters, because here in America, within limits, we do have freedom of speech, but since we have stupid hate speech laws, our freedoms are getting limited also. Mac, let me ask you, where do you stand? What are some of your points or maybe even counterpoints to this subject?
I don't stand.
Okay.
I got a question too, firstly. Hong Kong is in China, right?
Yes, it is, but...
So it's under the jurisdiction of, in China is the country, then it's under the envelope or jurisdiction of the country, is it not?
Well, here's the thing. I have to look at my notes. Hong Kong went back to China in 1997. Until 1997, Hong Kong was governed by Great Britain. They were governed by Great Britain for 156 years. So you had Hong Kong, who had enjoyed the freedom of being British
and
free, while they were surrounded by mainland communist China. So China is having a problem trying to establish their communism
And put them in
because
check.
those people have tasted and experienced freedom. And I want to make a couple very important points, people, before I forget. We have people in this country. I'm sorry that I have to name a party, but under the banner of the Democratic Party trying to promote socialist policies and ideas and communism in this country. It may start off small. That's how control works. People don't take control completely at once. They do it gradually. Fight against this. You can look at these people in Hong Kong and they can see how they are by their neighbors in mainland China are treated. These are people that have in mainland China, these are people that are under communist rule and they are protesting to get freedom. Let's not go down the opposite path where we have so many freedoms that the rest of the world does not enjoy down that path to communism. Don't be fooled by them saying free college and all these other things. They're using money as a way to control you people. Don't fall for it.
I agree with everything you just said just now on socialism and communism. But as far as this whole thing that is concerning the NBA and their stance with China, I don't feel any kind of way about it, really. As far as the people of China and their position, well, in Hong Kong that are protesting, that's not my fight. And it's not my people's fight.
Well,
where were they when we were going through all of our trials and tribulations?
They were under communist rule. Okay.
And wait a minute now.
Okay,
wait a minute.
Okay.
And they were going through that, and they are here now, and we're still going through a whole lot. And you don't hear nothing from them on our situations here in the United States. So I don't have no kind of feeling or feel partial at all in their struggle over in Hong Kong, because they don't support anything that we got going on that we have to fight. Why should we support anything that they got to go through over there?
Because they are fellow human beings. And basically what you're saying is, unless you can do something for me, I'm not going to do anything for you.
What I'm saying is
that's basically what you just said.
Maybe.
Okay.
And it's not exactly that. Is screw it. It's exactly that. They ain't did nothing for us.
Okay.
They haven't walked no pickets.
Okay.
They've sat on the sidelines forever.
Okay.
And we've watched them do it while they come in and they bring their liquor stores and their hair hat markets over and everything else that they did, that they capitalized on off of black money, and they haven't done nothing for us. You damn right I guess you damn right. And you should have known, because they had nothing to say before all of this. You should have known. You should have known.
I guess this was a show about race after all. Okay, here's the thing. You know why they keep putting these things in our neighborhood? Because we keep going to them.
I don't.
So, no, maybe not you, but our people in general. Okay, if we didn't know.
No, I'm laughing because you thought you was going to get out of this.
Yeah, I know. If we didn't go to get the weaves and the liquor, guess what? No. I'm just saying, if we didn't go to the hair stores and buy, I've been in the hair store to get like grease for my hair. Hair when I used to have it. Combs, do-rags. Yeah, light-skinned dude wearing do-rags. Yes, that's how old I am. But anyway, if we didn't patronize these stores, they wouldn't come in our neighborhood.
Look, I'm not saying that they don't have a right to make money. I'm not saying that they don't have a right to make money from us, with us. What I'm saying is that they are people just like you say. They are people just like we're people. Guess what? We're people like they're people.
Absolutely.
And they've had ample opportunity and ample time to step up, and they never have. They sat on the sideline, and they continue to sit on the sideline here in America. So I'll be damned if I'm going to have any type of an emotional response to their issues over in Hong Kong, which is a country I've never been.
Okay, Muhammad Ali. That's what you sound like. But anyway, and Muhammad Ali was a great man, so I'm going to give him that little point. Okay, well, from your I'm gathering my thoughts, people. He didn't stump me. I'm just gathering my thoughts. Okay. Well, you are involved in China, whether you think so or not.
Because we buy a lot
I
of their
bet
products.
you most of the things in your house come from China. Okay, and that's kind of where I'm going. I'm trying to talk about the cowardice of the NBA constantly criticizing things here in America.
Okay, elaborate that.
Okay, well, it's only been for about 3 years because they had nothing bad to say about Obama. But ever since Trump has been in office, you get the SJWs, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, and LeBron James.
I beg to differ.
Always having something to say.
How about the whole Eric Garner situation, the guy that got killed and choked by police, and he was saying that he couldn't breathe.
Okay, but how was Trump linked to that?
I ain't say
Trump. I mean, not Trump. How was Obama?
I said the NBA. You said the NBA. In 2014, players wore "I Can't Breathe" T-shirts at warm-up, and the NBA commissioner Adam Silver said he preferred that they abide by the rule that says the players wear nothing but Adidas clothing, the league's official apparel provider.
Okay. Well, that's one incident. And why did they?
He is a head figure and the face of the NBA, and he pretty much is saying that he didn't support what those players were standing up for.
No.
So they did it then.
No, he had a company to protect, just like he does now. That's why they're not saying anything. So yes,
I get that.
Love of money is the root of all evil, and that's what this is about, money. Because who does the NBA answer to besides the fans?
Okay,
they answer to Nike.
Well, wait a minute, and Nike's in China,
yes.
So I get that. So who does he answer to, and who do the NBA or Adam Silver answer to in reference to the 2014 incident where he didn't want the players to wear nothing but Adidas clothing?
Well, they answer to the players and they answer to the fans. You have to understand where the majority of the money for the NBA comes from. Here in America, let's not even talk about China. Go to an NBA game. The majority of the people there are white. The majority of the people on the court are black, but the majority of the people in the stands are white. Okay? You don't shoot yourself in the foot, so to speak. Okay? They're in the business to make money. Not necessarily, not political statements. But yes, I'm asking them to make one on China. I think they should have stuck with the Eric Garner case. I think they could have applied some pressure to maybe get some kind of police reform. I saw the video of Eric Garner being choked. He was breaking the law. Doesn't mean he had to die for it. Of course not. But I don't know. Things happen.
And furthermore, let's speak about people that are related to the situation more than, say, laymen like us, to their situation. How about Yao Ming? Yao Ming hasn't made any protest or haven't put anything out publicly about the plight of his people, because those are his people over in China.
Because Yao Ming is a popular sports figure making tons of money still off the NBA.
Yeah.
So let's just look. Let me give you some reasons why the NBA won't say anything.
But he's a basketball exec now, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So he ain't going to help his people for money.
Okay, but here's the thing. Oh yeah, right. Okay. The tweet that Daryl Morey made was "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And to further strengthen my point that the NBA answers to Nike, in 2018, the NBA made $8 billion in profits. Nike made $36.4 billion. China has a bigger viewing base for the NBA than America.
Yeah, they got tons of people.
They have 800 million viewers. That's double our population.
So that's double profits.
Yes, that's double the profits. And so they're trying to brush this over because several Chinese companies have suspended or cut ties with the NBA.
Yeah, Tencent and CCTV, and Vivio, a smartphone maker from China, suspended, I guess, the preseason games because they believe that Adam Silver supported the statements made in favor of the protest.
Right. Even though, and one of the other reasons the NBA won't speak out is because the players are in bed with China. Klay Thompson has a shoe deal with Chinese shoe company Anta for $80 million. Dwayne Wade has a lifetime deal with
who?
Chinese company Li Ning.
I wonder how much they paying.
And so that's why these NBA players need this to blow over, because they are making so much money after their careers are over, even while their careers. Steph Curry released a golf apparel line in June in China. I hadn't heard anything about a Steph Curry golf line here in the United States.
I didn't know Steph Curry played golf.
Well, me either.
I guess obviously he plays golf now too, huh?
And Nike in China alone made $6.2 billion in the fiscal year of 2019. So, and that's just selling apparel.
So there's a lot of money on the plate. So there's a lot of money on the table.
So that's why
we know that.
That's why no one is saying anything.
And that's the reason why I guess Morey had to back out, was to keep his job, right?
Yes. So what I'm just saying, why do you want freedom to speak across about your government in your home country, but you don't want people elsewhere to have that same freedom?
No,
I mean, all of those NBA players, if they manage their money right, have enough money to last multiple generations. So it's not like they're not wealthy enough. They're already extremely wealthy just in endorsements. But if you manage your money right, invest it properly, the average NBA career, I believe, is about 4 years. You can still make a couple $1 million and still, and you can make that grow if you don't ball out, you know? So these players are wealthy enough. I'm not saying they make, I don't care how much they make. I think if the opportunity is there for them to make more money, they should make it and take it. But I just have a problem when money and principles.
What cost as far as your soul is concerned?
When your money and your principles collide, I would hope that the NBA would want to stand on their principles.
Principles?
Yeah.
What are they principles?
Well, I'm sure they enjoy freedom of speech
the
here.
NBA sides with China and not Daryl Morey money. Distanced themselves from his comments. Says that his comments doesn't represent their values. That's the whole question right here that I had. What are their values? They didn't have any values in the whole Eric Garner situation.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
So if they,
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they.
well, their values were obviously
yeah.
against the whole situation with with Eric Garner.
Well,
so if they didn't have an issue with them with his situation and our people over here, you know, they damn sure ain't gonna have any feelings for the people that are protesting.
Well, that's
in
just
Hong
it.
Kong,
They make more money in China than they do here, so they can have more. Actually, the price of NBA teams are based on the market in China. When the Nets went up for sale, I don't recall who the buyer was, but the team sold for $3.2 billion. The price of the team was based on the Chinese market, not the American market.
Yeah, because I guess our market is like what?
Crappy. Well, China buys our debt, so and they're on their way to becoming to becoming the number one economy in the world.
Oh, they probably already that by now. Yep, they're probably already ready that by now.
But that's just it. The NBA is overlooking all the things that Communist China does to its people to make a buck. You have to have permission to gather as a church. There are many Christian pastors in jail right now because they choose to preach parts of the Bible that the government does not want them to teach.
Yeah, I heard.
There are. I watched a video last night of a woman recently from China, and she was telling her story of how she was spent of her time in the internment camps, how they had her and other people squat with their hands in the air for 15 to 16 hours a day, and if you passed out, they had cattle prods to get you back up, and they kept poking you with the cattle prods until you got back in position. She was telling how the Chinese government takes blood tests or does blood tests on these people and puts all their information in a database and kills these people when someone somewhere else needs an organ. And if they have a match,
yeah, no, I heard.
I'm just saying
on that.
How I'm just saying how
that would probably be a good topic to talk about. Especially in addition to all of the women that are missing here in the United States that can't be found.
Absolutely.
Apple in reference to organs being lost.
Apple has removed an app from its app store that the Hong Kong protesters were using to track police movements.
They did what again?
The protesters in Hong Kong had an app on their phone.
Oh, so they wazed them.
So Apple removed the app from their app store.
Oh, so they can't know the police.
Because the people were using it to track the police movements, I guess, in order to have their protests before the police got there, or have as much time as they could before the police got there. And even though the NBA hasn't denounced what China is doing, Congress has. October 9th, Congress has denounced what China is doing to the people in Hong Kong. Ted Cruz, Beto O'Rourke, so we have Republican and Democrats. R.O.C. has denounced it. They've actually denounced the NBA for putting profits over freedom.
So it's good for people in positions of authority in our government to denounce it, but the NBA is saying, nah, not when it concerns our money. We're not stopping nothing.
Probably not. Which is kind of sad.
But well, here's the thing. The thing is that it's the NBA and China. They have what they call a business relationship. They don't have a friendship. They don't have a brotherhood, so to speak. They have what you call a international business relationship, and the NBA doesn't owe us, the government, or anyone else their moral fortitude in the involvement of that.
Well, I think you're right, they don't. But then if you don't want to be criticized when you don't do something, continue to do what you did in the Eric Garner case. Stay quiet, ignore it, and it'll just go away. If you don't want to comment on if you don't want the headaches that come with your comments, keep your mouth shut. That's how I see it. And as far as the Chinese helping us, how exactly are they supposed to do that?
Hey, nobody asked for any money. Nobody asked for anything. But then, like you said, they kept their mouth shut and they stayed on. They stay on the sidelines.
Well, here's the thing.
And they continue to do that.
Well, here's the thing.
Because they figure like this: our fight and our situation is not their problem, and I feel likewise. Their fight and their situation is not our problem.
But here's the thing: for the last 70 years, their media has been government controlled. They may not even know about the struggles here in America.
The people here do.
Okay. And how many Chinese people here, I mean, I know you can't really answer this question, but how many Chinese people here, because most of the Chinese people here came in the 1800s. Yes, I know we have new immigrants arriving all the time.
And born.
But how many of them still have links to the old country is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Well, that's just it. We don't know how many. So there may be some that know, but maybe they aren't in a position to say anything. And we are not as oppressed as we think we are.
I didn't say we were oppressed.
Well, but by you saying...
I said that we have issues.
Well, who doesn't? Who doesn't have issues? A lot of our issues are our fault. When it comes to issues like police brutality, that's an issue that is not our fault. Sometimes it is. That's either way.
Dude,
but
that was a nail biter on that one. I'm like, what is he gonna say?
No, I'm not. No, I've seen plenty of videos where we have been fine, upstanding citizens, and the cop just wanted to be a jerk.
But I've also seen a few videos where people should have just sat down and shut the hell up, and they would have probably done just fine, but didn't and got their ass.
Well, see, so there you go. But what is the narrative that is always put out there?
Oh, that police killed everybody.
There you go. So
I'm gonna have to say they kill between 50 and 80%.
I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I know. Unfortunately, I did read a story just last night about another woman, about another black person being killed in their home by a cop.
I read that too.
And so I was just like,
right after this whole Amber Geiger thing, and I was like, should we even do a show on that? We just talked about this.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think so. And no, we're not getting off topic. We are a conversation show, so we can talk about anything. We talk
about what the hell we want to talk about. You just listen.
Okay, well, I was trying to put that a lot nicer and a little bit more professional.
And subscribe and like.
Okay. So yeah.
Here's my question. What do you think about Daryl Morey as far as him having
recanted
the stones or not having the stones to take a stand and say, you know what, I said this, I put it in a post, I said it and I meant it?
I can't say anything about it because it's easy for me to sit here in the comfort of this studio, in the coziness of this studio, behind the camera, and criticize him. I haven't been put in a position where
you making ton of money, and you say
where
we're
I'm making a ton of money, where it's gonna cost me my job if I don't apologize for something I said that I truly believed. So I can say, oh, he's a coward and he's not a man, he's not a role model or any kind of.
So does that say that he's taking the NBA's what does it says here? Perspective. He considered other people's perspective, and that was the reason why he recanted his statement. So you think he's taking the NBA's?
I don't know. I don't want to speak.
I
for
mean,
him.
I guess money just buys a person's perspective these days.
It always has. It's not just these days. It always has. It's just now we can see it more. Before there was instantaneous communication, behind the scenes stayed just there. Behind the scenes. Now everything is to the people like that. So I don't want to speak and say that he sold himself out or didn't stand up with to his convictions. Because I don't want to be a hypocrite and do the same thing. Because like I said, it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, he was weak. He should have valued his convictions over a job, and he could probably find another one.
He would have got another job.
Well, maybe not in the NBA, but he probably could have ended up coaching in a college or something like that. And college coaches do pretty well, or he could go overseas and coach. So he could have gotten another job.
No, he couldn't have went to China.
No, that's okay. but see, that's just it. Basketball. But I mean, they have Europe. There's a lot of Europe. So maybe. So he could have gotten another job, but maybe he didn't want to lose this one. I don't know. Because I'm putting myself in his situation, and that's what I like to do to myself sometimes before I open my mouth and give my opinion on something. I mean, who's to say I wouldn't even do what the NBA did? I would be disappointed in myself if I did, but just like I am the NBA. But I can't say with 100% certainty that if I was the NBA commissioner and had billions of dollars on the line, that I would just be able to say, you know what? Until you treat those people right, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take that L. Don't know if I'd be willing to do that. So I do have to understand where they're coming from. I am disappointed on how they handled it, but I can be disappointed because I have no skin in the game. Things look a whole lot different when you got skin in the game. And so that's one thing I need to continually remind myself of.
That's fair. So I guess this was a good talk. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like how you were so sneaky and brought race in it anyway. I was like, man, I do not want to be just a race-based show.
This is not just a race-based, but race is in everything. As long as I have to live with this color, it's going to be about race.
But the concept of race itself is racist.
I didn't make the concept.
I know. A white German did. A white German man trying. I wish I could remember his name, but a white German did trying to prove white supremacy. I don't want to say it was Darwin, but no. It was someone who.
But he was definitely on board.
It was someone who tried to build on Darwin's teachings about evolution. How he said, white people evolved from the smartest monkeys, the chimpanzees. Black people evolved from the dumber and more violent and aggressive monkeys. And
what monkeys were those?
Probably gorillas or something like that. And Asians developed from some other monkey. But But that.
Well, if that's the case, why do we even still have monkeys here?
Well, that's just it.
Because it's
that's
bull.
That's right. We didn't evolve from monkeys. That's right. That's just right. That's absolutely right. Humans did not evolve from monkeys. There is only one race, the human race. But since we have leaders and people that make money
perpetuating
this lie, let's call it what it is, lie, and it being taught in academia, as science, it will continue to be perpetrated.
I agree. So, what do you guys think about this whole Daryl Morey situation in the NBA? Do you think that he was a punk for standing down? Do you think that the NBA should back the protesters in Hong Kong? What do you think about our argument here? Tell us what you think.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment.
Are we coming to get you?
Thank you for joining the Common Ground.
The Common Ground. Thank you.
Oh, that was kind of short.